Hey friend, tonight we gently explore the lost civilization before time. Imagine stepping softly onto a wind-swept plateau, the air around you warm and dry, carrying the faint scent of sun-baked stone and distant rain. A gentle breeze brushes your cheeks as the sky above stretches in soft twilight hues. There are no machines, no cities. Only you and the whisper of an ancient world breathing beneath your feet. No need for a time machine, just close your eyes and breathe. So before you settle in, take a second to like this video and subscribe only if you enjoy these soft, sleepy explorations. Let me know where you're watching from and what time it is in your part of the world. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a soft fan or ambient sound, and let's float into history together. You find yourself tracing a narrow path etched into the ground by thousands of years of silence. Your fingers brush over smooth stones, worn soft by the hands of a people long forgotten. The sand crunches gently underfoot, each step slower, softer than the last. It feels like walking inside a memory, or maybe a dream. The air here hums with secrets and time doesn't feel quite real. You reach the top of a gentle slope, and in the golden dusk you see them. Mounds half swallowed by earth-carved walls jutting out from overgrown roots. Faint spirals etched into stone, like the whispered thoughts of a civilization too old for maps or books. This wasn't Egypt or Sumeria or any place your history teacher told you about. This was something earlier, deeper, more mysterious. As you walk further, your eyes catch faint patterns. Not random marks, but deliberate artistry. Ancient hands crafting meaning into stone, smooth curves spiraling into one another, like stories wrapping around time itself. Someone once stood here too, maybe barefoot just like you, watching the same setting sun melt into the land and the same winds curling through the brush. You touch one of those spirals and feel a chill, a connection maybe, or just the coolness of stone, who knows? A low rumble in the distance, no thunder, just the soft echo of deep time. The kind of sound you can't place but feel in your chest, like standing near the ocean in pitch dark, with only the waves and stars to keep you company. Speaking of stars, the sky here is open, clear, and ancient. Pinpricks of light blink into view one by one, the same constellations you know. But somehow they feel older, their stories rewritten in languages never spoken again. As you breathe in slowly, you realize the silence here is full, not empty, full of layers, like a song with notes too deep to hear the ground beneath you. Feels alive, not in a dramatic fantasy way, but in a quiet, pulsing heartbeat kind of way, like the earth is remembering too. You reach a cluster of carved stones shaped almost like chairs, or maybe altars, or maybe they were just meant to face the sunset, the way trees lean toward the light. You sit on one, and it fits your shape too well. To be coincidence, a place meant for reflection or ritual, or maybe just rest behind you. The wind rustles the tall dry grass, and you swear it almost sounds like voices, no words, just tones. Soft, relaxing, maybe even laughing in some ancient forgotten joy. The people who lived here, they left no golden masks, no massive pyramids, no written chronicles. Yet they left this peace, this uncanny, timeless calm, as if they knew that someday someone like you would wander by and pause just long enough to listen. You close your eyes for a moment, and there it is, an echo, not of sound, but of feeling, a kind of soft knowing. You can't explain a gentle reminder that history isn't just kings and wars and inventions. It's also breath and wind and worn stone and the hush between thoughts. So you open your eyes and whisper thank you to the dusk because somehow it feels right. The first star winks above, and for a moment it feels like the world forgot how to spin, just so you could be here, still quiet, gently held in a moment older than time itself. And just like that, You're ready to walk further. Not in a hurry. Not to find answers, but to be part of the question. You take one last look at the spiral, your fingers brushing the groove once more, and then you step softly back onto the path, the breeze behind you like a sigh from the past guiding you forward. You follow the narrow path deeper into the twilight, every step a little slower, as if the ground itself wants you to linger, wants you to listen ahead. The landscape changes, the soft grass gives way to flat, smooth stone, almost like a floor but cracked with age patterns appear beneath your feet, faint shapes that seem to shimmer as your eyes adjust. It doesn't feel like you're walking on rock anymore. It feels like you're walking across memory, ancient memory, the kind that doesn't belong to any single person, but to the earth itself. You pause and kneel. The ground is warm here, pulsing gently beneath your hand, not like machinery, not artificial, but like something natural and alive, as if the stones remember being touched, remember being part of something greater. Perhaps a gathering place, perhaps a temple, or maybe it was a home. Not in the way we build homes today, but in the way trees make homes, or birds or stars, a shelter in the cosmos. The air thickens slightly, a warm breeze carries a scent you can't name. Not flowers, not fire, something deep and earthy like rain, falling on dust that hasn't felt water in 1,000 years. You breathe it in slowly, and you feel it travel through your chest, into your limbs, and down to your toes, grounding you gently, reminding you that you are small but not forgotten. You rise again and walk further, the flat stones forming a path now deliberate, winding you through an invisible design. Something ancient architects must have dreamt under the same sky, guiding your steps without ever speaking. You pass what might have been markers or standing stones, low pillars rounded by time, each one different, carved with flowing lines that seem to tell stories in a language of curves and echoes. And then ahead, in the fading light, you see it, a vast circle in the earth outlined by stone pillars. Some fallen, some still standing proud, their surfaces worn smooth by wind and years. You step into the circle, slowly, your breath catching, not in fear, but reverence, the way you might breathe in a cathedral or at the edge of a vast canyon. This place, it hums not loudly, not with noise, but with meaning, the kind of meaning that sinks into your skin and makes you forget where you are, who you are, even why you came, because none of that matters anymore. The sky above turns indigo stars, blooming slowly like ancient flowers. The circle below reflects them faintly, like it was made to mirror the heavens. And maybe it was. Maybe the people who stood here long ago were not just builders or wanderers, but watchers, dreamers, stargazers who didn't want to rule or conquer, but to listen to the sky and understand their place within it. You lie down in the center of the circle, the stone warm beneath you, and the sky stretching wide above it feels as if the stars are watching back, not judging, not waiting, just seeing you the way this civilization might have seen the world, not as something to control, but something to belong to. The carvings on the stones around you catch the faint starlight, their spirals and waves glowing softly like reflections of constellations. They're not decorative, they're deliberate, like musical notes frozen in stone. Maybe they were songs, maybe prayers, maybe maps to memories older than time. And suddenly, for a moment, you feel it, not a vision, not a sound, but a presence. Not someone, not something, just presence, as if the ground, the stars, the wind, the stones have become aware of you, and they are not surprised. They are only glad you came. You close your eyes again, not to sleep, but to see deeper. And what you see is not images, but feelings. Warmth, awe, calmness. Like standing beneath a waterfall made of stars, like hearing the first word ever spoken. This lost civilization, they didn't disappear. They became part of the earth, part of the wind, part of the night sky, not lost, not gone, just transformed. And maybe in coming here, in listening quietly, in walking their paths and touching their stones, you've helped them live again, if only for a breath, if only for a whisper. The path narrows again, not in space but in sense. The world around you becomes quieter, as if even the wind has bowed its head in respect here in this place where few have ever stepped, where stories were etched, not in ink, but in air. You feel the weight of forgotten years, not heavy, not sad, just full, as if time itself once stopped here to remember. You notice shapes in the trees now, not creatures, not shadows, but impressions, like memories still clinging to the bark. A handprint here, a curve there, almost as if someone once leaned against this tree and whispered secrets into its leaves. The trees are older than they look, not ancient by age, but ancient by purpose. They watched the builders, they sheltered the wanderers, they listened when no one else remained. And then the earth dips a little, a hollow in the land. Natural but deliberate, you descend slowly, the silence thick and peaceful. And when you reach the center, you find it not a structure, not a ruin, just a stone, smooth and round and warm to the touch. It pulses gently beneath your fingers, like a heart not beating, but remembering. This is not a throne. It is not an altar. It is something more, something simpler, a place of listening. A place where the sky and the soil met in quiet communion. The kind of place where the wind speaks, if you are willing to hear. And for a moment, just a breath, you do hear it. Not words, not language, but feeling calm, gentle, as if this civilization before time didn't want to be remembered with monuments or names, but with presence, with stillness, with peace. You sit on the stone and close your eyes, not to leave the world, but to join it. And what rises in your mind is not image, but understanding. They lived with the stars, not under them. They moved with the rivers, not around them. They built, not with stone, but with meaning. And every act, every step, every silence was a part of the world, not separate from it. And then the breeze returns, soft and cool, wrapping around your face, like the touch of a friend you never met but always knew. And you feel it again, that presence not watching, not guiding, just being and allowing you to be too. When you open your eyes, the light has changed, the stars have shifted, the night has deepened, but you are not lost. You are more found than ever. Not because you know the way, but because the way now knows you. You rise and walk back through the hollow, past the trees, still whispering, past the carvings, still glowing, each one now, familiar, like an old song, heard for the first time, and remembered, all at once. The stone path welcomes your steps again, not as a guest now, but as someone returning not from a journey, but from a remembering, and the sky above you holds your gaze a little longer. Stars blinking in quiet approval. You do not rush. There is no need, because the story is not ending. It is unfolding slowly, patiently, like the petals of a flower that only opens in moonlight. The lost civilization before time was never truly lost. It was simply waiting, waiting for someone to listen, someone to feel, someone to understand, that to live is not to conquer, but to connect. And now you walk not alone, but accompanied not by spirits or shadows, but by memory, by presence, by peace. And behind you the circle remains, the stone remains, the sky remains, and maybe one day another will come. Walk this path, feel this air, listen to these trees and remember not a name, not a history, but a feeling, a quiet, knowing that once there was a people who lived not before time, but within it, and in doing so, they became something greater than remembered. They became timeless. You step out of the forest, but the forest never leaves you. It has settled into your breath, into your bones, into the rhythm of your thoughts. You no longer move with the urgency of the outside world. Instead, Your pace is slow, like the drifting clouds above, like the quiet echo of ancient footsteps. You are no longer chasing something, you are carrying it behind you. The trees sway gently, as if waving, not goodbye, but remember. And ahead of you, the world is familiar, but not the same. Because now you see differently, you feel more deeply. The stone in the clearing, the circle of light, the memory of voices that never spoke in sound, they are all part of you. Now this story you hold is not to be told. It is to be lived. It is not a tale of ruins or treasure, but of harmony, of stillness, of knowing your place. Not above, not apart, but within the world, as it was always meant to be. You think about them, those who came before, not just long ago, but before time itself, before clocks, before words, before walls. They did not vanish. They became the wind in the trees, the glow in the stones, the breath of the earth. And when you close your eyes, you feel them again, not as ghosts, but as guides, not to lead you, but to remind you. The stars overhead blink slowly, as if watching, as if remembering, and the moon casts a soft path before your feet, not to follow, but to feel each step grounding you, each breath returning you to the moment. You are not lost. You are not found. You are simply here, and that is enough. The ancient ones knew this. They lived it every day, and now you do too. The wind carries a final whisper, not in language, not in sound, but in essence. It says, walk gently, speak softly, and listen always. For the world is still singing the same song you heard in the clearing, and you smile, not because of what you saw, but because of what you became in that place. Not a witness, not an explorer, but a part of something timeless. You look back once more. The trees are still. The circle is quiet. The stone is at peace. And so are you. And when you return to your world with its lights and noise and names, you carry a silence, a story, a truth, not of the past, not of the future, but of the forever that lives within. You are the voice of the forgotten, not to speak but to remember. You are the echo of the eternal, not to explain but to feel. And somewhere deep in the forest, the wind stirs again, and the lost civilization before time smiles not in pride, but in welcome. And now, as you move through the world shaped by walls and wires, you find that you no longer resist its speed. You simply do not match it. You move with the rhythm of something older, something quieter, something true. In conversations, your voice carries pauses that hold more weight than words. In crowds, your gaze searches not for people, but for patterns, the shadows, the reflections, the spaces in between. The forest has changed you, but it has also revealed you. In its silence, you found your own voice. In its stillness, you felt your own pulse, untethered from deadlines and definitions. What once felt like solitude now feels like presence. You are not alone. You are among everything. The city streets, the humming machines, the flashing signs. They are no longer distractions, but layers. You move through them like a ghost who remembers what it means to be flesh, or perhaps like a spirit who has remembered what it means to belong. The story you carry does not need to be shared to be understood. Those who listen with more than ears will feel it in your presence, like warmth near a fire never seen. Each morning you wake and the world is new, not because it has changed, but because you see it now through eyes softened by moss and moonlight. You carry stillness like a lantern, lighting places even as you pass them by. You begin to notice the sacred in the ordinary, the way a leaf curls as it falls, the way a stranger's footsteps echo your own, the way a cat pauses before crossing a path. These are not accidents. These are not delays. These are invitations, and you answer, not with action, but with awareness. There will be days when the world tries to pull you back into its storm, deadlines, noise, anger, hunger. But even then, something deep within will whisper like wind through branches. Remember the clearing. Remember the stone. Remember who you are beneath the names. And you will smile again, quietly, as if greeting an old friend. Because now you understand. The forest was not a place you visited. It was a doorway. And you stepped through not into wilderness, but into truth. You touched the roots of all things, and in doing so, you grew your own. This is not an ending. This is how the real story begins. Not in books, not in maps, not in voices raised above silence, but in the simple act of being fully present, of walking gently, of listening deeply, of remembering that the song of the world is not behind you, nor ahead of you, but within you. And somewhere, far beyond time, the forest breathes your name again, not as a call, but as a welcome.